Na última semana de outubro de 2016, eu estive em Los Angeles, nos Estados Unidos, a convite da Prager University, a universidade virtual americana que produz e publica vídeos de 5 minutos sobre temas de interesse público, explicados por um apresentador da maneira mais simples, objetiva e educativa possível. Num dia eu gravei o meu vídeo, no outro eu participei de um jantar comemorativo para os doadores e convidados da chamada PragerU. Lá eu estive com autores volta e meia citados no meu blog, como Ben Shapiro e Andrew Klavan, e também tive o prazer de conhecer o ator Jon Voight, pai da atriz Angelina Jolie e um dos grandes entusiastas do projeto. Glória Álvares, da Guatemala, e eu fomos entrevistados pelo fundador Dennis Prager diante dos 150 maiores doadores da PragerU para relatar os efeitos nocivos do aumento do tamanho e do poder do Estado em nossos países e como esses vídeos têm sido fundamentais para mudar também as mentes dos nossos compatriotas. Depois, enquanto era servido o jantar, Dennis Prager deu um belíssimo discurso, do qual eu mostro aqui com exclusividade alguns trechos legendados por mim em português, numa edição especial na qual eu incluí também trechos de uma entrevista do psiquiatra judeu austríaco Viktor Frankl. Vocês vão ver que as palavras de um têm tudo a ver com as realizações de outro e vice-versa.
So you don't fight just because you think you'll win, you fight because you have to win. You fight because it's the right thing to do. Because people fought for us before we showed up. People filled their lives with meaning. Viktor Frankl was right. After food, the biggest human urge is not sex, even among males. The biggest human urge is meaning. There are people who live without sex and have a happy life. There is no one who lives without meaning and has a happy life. What we have is a dearth of meaning, and people are finding meaning in sick ways.
In a sense of meaninglessness and emptiness, I have described it in a book of mine as soon as in 55. Since that time, it has ever more been increasing worldwide.
Meaning can be filled with bad just as much as with good. You see it in the Middle East, and you see it here in different expressions. So we had this idea that we could change minds in 5 minutes. Turns out we were right. You can change minds in 5 minutes. Because it's not their mind that was ever committed to the other way of thinking. People on the left don't think left, they feel left. They feel for the poor, they feel for the black, they feel for the woman, they feel for the Hispanic, they feel for the destitute, they feel for the Palestinian. They don't think it through. None of it is thought through. It's a giant balloon punctured with 5 minutes of reason and fact, and it's over.
Without the belief in an ever-expanding government, there is no left. Without a belief in limited government, there is no right.
Periodically, like every day, somebody will ask me if I'm going to run for president. And by the way, it's not like I haven't given it thought, and someone I'm very close to is a supporter of the idea, my wife. So it's not like it doesn't play a role in my thinking, but I'm not. My nature is not in that direction. I have no desire for power, none. I never did. That's one of the things I don't like about the left. They're crazy about power. All I ever wanted. We just found, I was hoping we didn't lose it, and we didn't. We found my diary from high school. In my junior year, I knew what I wanted to do with my life. It hasn't changed since my junior year in high school. I want to influence people to the good. That is what I wrote, and I have never wavered a minute.
There is a wonderful word of an author who has not written but said it about 2,000 years ago. You find it in the Bible. It is Hillel, Hillel, who once said, if I'm not doing it, who will do it? If I'm not doing it right now, when shall I do it? But if I'm doing it only for my own sake, what am I? This means no really human being. Because a human being is not someone as psychotherapeutic systems depict the human being. He is not someone that is concerned primarily and originally with complexes, conditions, conflicts and problems going on within his psychological system, intrapsychically as it were. But normally, fundamentally, originally, primarily, basically, any human being is concerned with something out there in the world, is concerned with someone out there in the world, a work to do, a job to complete, a task, a meaning, a mission in life waiting for him exclusively to be materialized, to be actualized by him and by no other person. Right now, who else if not he?
I have felt since high school that I was sort of like a doctor who had a cure for cancer, and my biggest problem was not the cure. I had it. The problem was marketing it. How do I get it out to people? And finally, after all the books, and after all the articles, and after all the radio shows, and they're all important, I don't knock that for a moment, they all made this possible. No radio, this never would have existed. But this is really the vehicle. Technology has offered us the opportunity to touch the world with goodness.
And finally, this he doesn't do for himself, for his tranquility, for his discharge of tensions, for his inner equilibrium, for getting rid of the stimuli or of the superego which is dissatisfied, or obeying the father image. But he's doing it for the sake of a cause to serve, or another person to love, and never for himself only. This is what man can do.
This is a huge thing, to sit up there with two wonderful young people from Brazil and Guatemala. Who have been touched by what we produce here in America. This is a big deal. I think you have a sense, or you wouldn't be here tonight. You're part of a big deal. I didn't know it would be this big. I told you, if it was 500,000, I would have thought it was wonderful. 150 million, and most of them, the biggest single group is under 35 years of age.
According to our Facebook survey data, 98% of all the viewers said the arguments presented in the videos have helped them better articulate and defend their values and beliefs. And get this, an astonishing 41% of viewers change their minds on at least one issue. That means PragerU videos work.
That's big. That's important stuff. Somebody has to change minds. We're changing minds.
Imagine if he were not mortal, then he could postpone everything. There would not be the 1/3, the 2/3 of Hitler's dictum. There would not be sense in the formulation when, if not now, because he's immortal. There were no hurry. There were no need to do something right now.
I want to influence people to the good. Somebody has to change minds. We're changing minds.
But I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. But I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will.